All right, shalom, shalom. Just double check this, make sure it's sounding good, everything all right. My Wi-Fi was fucking up on me. Give me 1 second, I'll keep Salaki. Switch accounts here. Mm, okay, good, good. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we're gonna give our honor and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Yakakodash. Okay, good, good. Shalom. And double honors unto the apostles and others a great millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect, all right. Lord, wouldn't this lesson be edifying to you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, who consist of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Your fellow servant Awad for the GMS Orlando account. Lord, when his lesson be edifying, all right. And as you can see, the title is Ecclesiasticus chapter 11. Okay, because it embodies a whole. It covers a lot of ground. Okay, it covers a lot of ground about what's happening right now. It covers a lot of ground. You know, it just tells a lot. Okay, and I just remember skimming through this chapter, and I was amazed. So I just want to relax, and honestly, it's just me throwing something up there, and praying that the Lord takes it with the Spirit. Lord, pray the Lord to allow the Spirit to be on me to be able to deliver it. Okay, because it's many different points, man, and I'm just gonna go through the chapter and just read it. Okay, and pair it with things that's going on in this life. Okay, and things that's going on that I see from my eyes, from my from my eyes. Okay, as a little one. Okay. So let's get right into it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11. All right. And this is like a little header. I'm going to read this real quick. All right. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 emphasizes wisdom, okay, humility, all right, and trust in Yahawah, teaching that prosperity, adversity, and human success are ultimately guided by the Lord Yahawah, man. So a lot of big words, a lot of key words in that, man. And this is pretty much a sum up of what we're gonna be talking about, man. Okay, it's a sum up of what we're gonna talk, what we will be talking about, Lord willing. But let me read that again. It says Ecclesiasticus chapter 11 emphasizes wisdom, okay, humility, all right, and trust in Yahawah. Those are some key components, man. All right, key components, and you gotta have if you're gonna come serve Yahweh by Shemel Shah, man. Teaching that prosperity, adversity, and human success are ultimately guided by the Lord Yahweh. All right, so let's jump right into it. Okay, we can use the Bible Hub, and here we go. Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, okay, Sirach, chapter 11, verse 1. You start this thing off. It says wisdom, and I don't like this font too much, but I think I could deal with it. Hold on, let me see something real quick. I kind of like a, no, I don't like that one. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get comfortable with this thing. Whatever I feel is going to do its justice with my reading ability, right? All right, let me see something. Okay. And ultimately, the blue letter Bible will probably be the best. Yeah, that's the spirit. Let me go to the blue letter Bible, okay? Y'all bear with me, man. Blue letter. Yeah, that's the best. That way we can get definitions on words, okay? Get definitions on words and kind of glide through. Oh, this is please. Oh, Salaki. I know if I'm not mistaken that. Yeah, yeah. I don't think the Apocrypha is on the blue letter Bible. Okay, Salaki, y'all. We'll do it this one. Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, verse 1. Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men. To start a chapter off, that's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. Let me read that again. Wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men. Okay, some names should come to mind: Daniel, Joseph. Okay, and it's all because of the Lord, man. It's that wisdom that comes from on high. You know, that's how allowing us to lift up our head, man. And that's why we can't be proud in this thing, because it comes from Yahawashi Yahawashi. It's not of ours. You know, it is not of ours, man. It never, as a family, it belongs to us. But ultimately, it's Yahawashi Yahawashi's choosing on who He wants to bestow that to. Wisdom lifted up the head of him that is of low degree. That is of low degree, and some few examples of men that was of low degree. You had John the Baptist, man, walking through the wilderness. Okay, he didn't live in no luxury house. He didn't live in no two-story mansion. And that's the same. Okay, that's the same with our apostles and notice, man. Great men. Wisdom has lifted them up. Okay, the Lord put them in their positions, man. Okay, but they are men of low degree if you had to compare them to the things of the world. Okay, if you had to compare them to, you know, uh, if you had to judge it, worldly, they would be of men of low degree. They wouldn't have, um, they wouldn't have any importance. Okay, let me go here real quick. They wouldn't have any importance. Hold on one second, and this proves it. Watch it. Uh, I just had it. Hold on, it's lucky, y'all. Mhm. I know I just had it. Hold on, let me just see if I can find it. Nope. Oh, nope. Okay. I just had it in the commentary. I don't know where it went. Mm, okay, it might be in here. No, no, it's not this one. Damn, where did it go? Here it is. I think this is it. All right, I'm gonna read the scripture real quick so you can kind of get understanding of where I'm at. This is First Corinthians chapter 1, and let me go back. Hold on, let me get this real quick. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. I'll start NIV version. Brothers and sisters, when you were called, not many of you were wise by human standards. Okay, and this is what we're talking about, man. Going back here, it says, "Wisdom lift up the head of him that is of low degree." According to the world standards, we wouldn't be considered anything, man. Okay, we wouldn't be considered shit. You know, but to water Yahweh, but to water Yahweh shot, we're not out there to, you know, we're not out there for the world's liking. Okay, we're out there for Yahweh Shah's liking. Okay, and His use. Brothers and sisters, think of what you were when you were called. Not many of you were wise by human standards. Not many were influential. Not many were of noble birth. Okay, see it on verse 27, NIV version. But Yahweh chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. Okay, in this sense right here, the foolish would be The foolish things would be that low degree, men of low degree. Okay, and the wise would be, the elites, the people that have all these outstanding backgrounds and studies, and what I'm saying, all these different geography, all these fucking all that shit, right? Okay, Yahweh chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Okay, and who are the weak right now in this ministry pushing this truth for the 144,000, man? Of course we're not weak in the spirit, but we're weak according to the world standard. We're weak in the flesh. Things of the world to shame the strong. And guess what? The Lord's message is shaming the strong, but He's giving it. He's giving it to the babes. Okay, He's giving it to the men of low degree. The scriptures tell you, the Lord chose the meek and lowly. Okay, the poor of the world. All right. NLT version. Instead, Yahweh choose things that, hold on. NLT version. Instead, Yahweh chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. Right now, we're powerless, man. We're not in our kingdom, man. But we're powerful through the Spirit, and that's why we must stay locked in through the Spirit, man. We're powerful through the Spirit. Okay, and He chose things that are powerless to shame those who are powerful, and the elites. They got wind of this, man. That the breaches of David is being built back up. Okay, that the prophets are out there, man, prophesying the downfall of this kingdom. Okay, they are the strong right now. All right, they are the strong and we are the weak, but we are strong spiritually because of Yahawashi. All right, so just wanted to grab that real quick, and if I can come to this commentary. Let me see where it's at. Is that it? No, that's not it. Boom. I gotta go back here. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna take me back to 26, and then I'm gonna ultimately go back to the one that I need. Okay. All right. This is the commentary for 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. Just to hammer the point home. Matthew Henry's concise commentary. So, like I said, you got this different Cambridge and Benson commentary, Elliott commentary. These are what's the word for these people? These are Barners. You got these colleges. These people, they study the Bible. And they have some type of name. So Matthew Henry's concise commentary on one chapter, Matthew chapter 1, for 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 26. Yahweh did not choose philosophers. 231. Yahweh did not choose philosophers. Right. These are the philosophers. Right. Nor orators, nor statesmen, nor men of wealth and power and interest in the world. Okay. To publish the gospel. And that's important. This is why we tell you, you do not have to go to the white man's college to do the CO13, the 501c3, and get that degree, and then go open up a church. Okay, that's not how the Lord deals, man. The Lord, it says He dwells in temples made not with hands. Okay, all right. So it says, and interest in the world. Put my heater on. It's a little cold out here in the shed. All right. In the world to publish the gospel, okay, of grace and peace. He best judges what men and what measures serve the purposes of His glory, right? Because it's all about Yahawashi at the end of the day. Okay. Though not many noble are usually called by divine grace, there have been some such in every age, and that's beautiful that it says that. Okay, that's beautiful that it says that, because how old was Jeremiah? Jeremiah was like 11. Okay, when Yahawashi told us, Yahawashi, don't I be about my father's business? He was a young man. Okay, So that's beautiful that it says that, man. Damn, hold on, y'all slack. I'm all over the place. Let me go back. Damn, it started to get good in there. Let's go to fidgeting. All right. Okay. So it says, there have been some, and let me highlight so y'all can see where I'm at. There have been some such in every age, and that's beautiful, man. Seek the Creator in the days of thy youth. You're gonna have some older, some younger, okay, and some a lot younger, who have not been ashamed of the gospel of Hamashiach, okay, and persons of every rank stand in need of pardon and grace. Often a humble Christian, though poor as to this world, has more true knowledge of the gospel than those who have made the letter of scripture the study of their lives, but who have studied it rather as the witness of men, okay, than as the word of Yahawah. Okay. It says, and even young children have gained such knowledge of divine truth as to silence infidels. The reason is they are taught of Yahawah, and that's the main reason, man. You can never forget that. It's gonna always the glory. The glories are gonna always go back to Yahawashi, man. Okay, because this is his program. The design is that no flesh should glory in his presence. Okay, that distinction in which alone they might glory was not of themselves. It was by the sovereign choice and regenerating grace of Yahawah. Okay, that they were in Hamashiach Yahawashi by faith. You got to come through that door. You got to come through the door of Yahawashi to be able to sup with, to be able for the Father to even acknowledge you. Okay, He is made of Yahawah to us wisdom, righteousness, sanctification, and redemption. All we need or can desire, and He has made wisdom to us, that by His word and spirit, and from His fullness and treasures of wisdom and knowledge, we may receive all that will make us wise unto salvation. And this is what it's about, man. Everybody trying to be wise in their own conceit. They're trying to be wise, to show what the motherfucker know this much precepts. Okay. Listen, man, we are trying to be wise unto salvation, man. Okay. Because the ultimate goal is to get out of here. All right. We see what happened to guys that, are wise, unto men. They fall out, man. They go back into the world because they was always looking for that pity party. They was always looking for that fame, for that glory. All right. And fit for every service to which we are called. All right. And hold on one second. Now, I'll read about there. Let's jump back into Ecclesiasticus. All right. Verse 11. So that was a lot, man. That's a lot, Okay. And right here it says, and maketh him to sit among great men, Now, started from the apostles and elders on down and brothers and bishops and stuff like that, right? We are sitting amongst great men. When you talk about this internet, is reaching, it's reaching the elite's ears. Okay. It's reaching the elite's ears. Okay. Verse 2. Commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. All right. The bee is little amongst such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. So the chosen, the lowly, the small things, the little things. It says the bee. It reminds me of King David. All right, when he was chosen, when the prophet went up there, it was like, no, that's not him. That's not him. Oh, that's him. Okay, that was David in the back. The bee is little amongst such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. Okay, and what's that? That's that honey. Okay, honey is a sweetening agent, man. Honey is used worldwide, man. Okay, honey is a chief thing. All right, it says, boast not of thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor, for the works of the Lord are wonderful, and His works among men are hidden. Okay, the secrets that were given, you know, the secrets, all these great things, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. When his works are, among men are hidden. The ones that are in the know, they know the power of the Lord. They know the working of the Lord. Okay, verse 5: Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of hath won the crown. Okay, many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into the other men's hands. Okay, and this right here makes me think about the prophets, man. Okay, there's going to be betrayed in this time, like always, right? But in this time to come, the prophet is going to be betrayed, man. And delivered into other men's hands. That's why the Lord said, "You are the ones that always killed the prophets, or you are the children of the fathers that pretty much killed the prophets." Or roughly paraphrasing, probably botched it all up. Verse 7: Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Understand first and then rebuke. All right. Answer not before thou hast heard the cause, neither interrupt men in the midst of their talk. Strive not in a matter that concerneth thee not, and sit not in judgment with sinners. Okay. My son, meddle not with many matters, for if thou meddle much, thou shalt not be innocent. All right. Keeping your a staying blameless. And if thou follow after, thou shalt not obtain, neither shalt thou escape by fleeing. Okay. And this right here, verse 11 is going to fit, these guys. It's going to fit these guys to a T. All right. These guys that sell out. Okay. They laboring for much for that money, for that bag from Esau. Okay. Let me just double check the live stream, make sure everything's good. Okay. Somebody on here. Hey, Shalom, Shalom, bro. Yahawashi Nasha Barakatah, Jacob will prevail. The brother Malachi, man. Shalom, Shalom. Yahawashi Nasha Barakatah. All right. It's my brother right there. Okay. So let me go here. Okay. Verse 11. There is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind. You guys are behind, man. Okay, because you failed to realize that poverty and riches come from the Most High. So the Most High set you up to take that bag, man. Okay, and that puts you preaching the Gentiles can make it. Okay, you preaching false doctrine, period. The Lord has put you behind, man. You are behind because this man's money, this man's, this worldly possessions, all is going to vanish, man. It's all going to vanish. Okay. Grab this real quick on my phone. Y'all can follow along if y'all can. I'll grab this on my phone. Okay. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And it says, King James Version says, and he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth, man. So you guys, the wisdom was being pulled away from you for you not to realize, okay, that, and I'm down here in 11. Let me highlight it. Okay, that there is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind, man. You put in great works. Let me also grab this real quick. Okay, and I'm gonna call them out. I'll just do it on my phone, which is pretty fast. Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So you walk around heaping up riches unto yourself, okay, and it's all fall, and it's all falling out the bag, man. You know, it's falling out the bag. All right, and we understand you got to take care of worldly priorities. Okay, you got to take care of the world, things around the household and stuff like that. But that's not selling out, man. Okay, that's taking the little or lot that Yahawashi Masha is giving you. Okay, be content with little. All right, content with food and raiment, roughly paraphrasing. Okay, but not selling out to this man's program. Okay, you selling out, man. All right, there's one that labored, and you labored a lot, man. Okay, now you're going to labor because he's going to use the shit out of you. Okay, it's twice as hard to tell a lie because you gotta than the truth, because you gotta cover up these lies. You gotta do all these different things. You gotta dig up scriptures and things that you once preached the right way. You gotta come up with some other way and teach it another way, so that way you can keep getting that back. That's a lot of laboring, and that's a lot of pain and taking pain, because guess what? That kills your soul. Okay, that kills your spirit in the making. Okay, because like the big brother and all you always say from GMS Orlando, man, we were never judged by how much money we have. Okay, it was never about you know it was never about ability. Okay, it was never judged by how much we got, how much possessions we have. It was always, we were judged as a nation by the power that's with us. Okay, that's what made us powerful. Okay, continuing on, and maketh haste, moving so fast all over the place to preach, false doctrine, so that way you can get paid out. And it's so much the more, but you're behind, bro. You're behind. Verse 12. Again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. Yet the eye of the Lord Yahawah looked upon him for good and set him up from his low estate. And that sounds just like the apostles and elders on down, man. The brothers, all the brothers, and everybody, even outside of GMS, everybody in that like-mindedness of digging through the trenches, man, staying low, staying down to be able to get the final reward, the prize at the end, which is salvation. Okay, that's the ones that this scripture fits. Again, there's another that is slow, and that way to the world, it seems like we're not getting nowhere because we don't care about the fancy things of this world. We don't care about the fancy cars and the nice shit. I'm saying, we like nice stuff. Okay, and if the Lord puts that upon us, said, the Lord did say, saying, whatever that soul in righteousness desire, you can get it if you work hard for it. Okay, but we ain't we ain't $200,000, AMG Benz or G wagons. We ain't got it like that. Okay, shit for us might be a good dinner at a good restaurant, man. The simple things. Might be hanging out with the brother. It's simple things, man. Again, there's another that is slow, okay, and hath need of help, man. We are need of help, man. So I know that poverty, okay. The Lord said, I know that poverty. I think that's in Revelation. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. I know it's a Revelation. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. And I read it from here. The verse. I know that. Oh no, that's unprofessional. That's unprofessional, dog. All right. Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Okay, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Okay, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan. Okay. All right. Let me read this verse 12 again. It says, again, there is another that is slow and hath need of help, wanting ability and full of poverty. What does Apostle Paul say? The Lord has made my weakness. The Lord has made strong in my weakness. Okay. All right. Roughly paraphrasing. Probably botched it up. Salaki. But the Lord is made strong. But the Lord is made strong in my weakness. The Lord, dwells in our weakness, man. Okay, that's how He able to, have us pull up to the table amongst great men. All right, and show His glory. And full of poverty, yet the eye of the Lord Yahawah looked upon him for good, and set him up from his low estate. Okay, verse 13, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw from him is peace all over all the prosperity and adversity, and life and death, poverty and riches come with the Lord Yahawah. Okay, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord, love, and the way of good works are from him. So everything, all the glory goes back to Yahawashi, man. Okay, there's nothing that we can't do. There's nothing that we can't do with him, and there's nothing that we can do without him. Okay, verse 16, error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. Right? Okay, it says though a sinner, let me get this real quick. I'm gonna highlight this real quick. This is a precept of that. All right. Mm-hmm. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 12. And let me get this right here. All right. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahawah. Okay, which fear before him. Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahawah. Okay. Jumping back here. It says error and darkness, and this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 11, verse 16. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners. Their beginning, but their end. Okay, they didn't consider the end. All right. And evil shall wax old. Okay. That sin, the sinner with that evil, doing the evil, that's just gonna wax old with them that glory therein. Okay, it's just gonna wax old. It says, though a sinner, I'll go back here, though a sinner do evil 100 times, okay, and his days be prolonged. So right now it seems like all the sinners, all the false prophets, they getting they getting their shine on, they getting their just do, they getting they bag on. Okay, ain't nothing happening to them right now, but that's for a reason though. Okay, it should not be well with the wicked, man, as the scriptures say right there. All right, verse 17, continuing on. The gift of the Lord Yahawah remaineth with the ungodly. Okay. And his favor bringeth prosperity forever. There is that waxeth rich by his wariness and pinching, and this his the portion of his reward. Whereas he said, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods. And yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Okay, there's an account in the scriptures that talk about, I think it's in Matthew's, they talk about the man, let me see. Put it up like that. I think it's in Matthew, things in Mark, Luke, whatever. Yep. Okay, let me see. Luke chapter 12, verse 19. I started 18, Luke chapter 12, verse 18. Then he said, this is what I will do. I will tear down my barns and will build bigger ones. And there I will store up all my grain and my goods. Then I will say to myself, you have plenty of good things laid up for many years. Take it easy, eat, drink, and be merry. And that's the thing. You guys are gonna get complacent. You guys are gonna get comfortable, and the Lord is gonna come like a thief in the night and sweep you out of fucking AMG Benz, okay, and flip you out of there, okay, a Hebrew and a Hellcat, okay, motherfuckers jet setting to Papua New Guinea. The Lord is coming. The Lord is coming to give every man according to his works, right? All right. So you think you can take it easy, right? Eat, drink, and be merry, right? When we're supposed to be in the morning state, okay? Verse 20, but Yahawah said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be required of you. Then who will own what you have accumulated, man? See, they ain't thinking like that, man. They're not thinking like that. They're going to take the bag by any means necessary, right? And what these guys do. All right. And let me read that again, verse 19. Whereas he said, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time shall come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Okay, so a lot of you people that got, you sold out, got great possessions, all that shit is vanity, man, because it's gonna be left, to somebody else. That's also, what I'm saying, if they come in your shoes, they also gonna die. All right, and ultimately, everything in Babylon the Great is gonna be burnt up. Okay, verse 20. Be steadfast in thy covenant and be conservant therein, and wax old in thy work, our first love, repent and do thy first works. Okay, and that was to obey Yahawashi outside, be fervent in his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay, verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord Yahawah and abide. And then we're not, hey, because you can skip over some good stuff. Marvel not at the works of sinners. Man, a lot of you guys, you love these false prophets, man. You love that your teacher. You don't see nothing wrong. He just broke up with Sakari, and Sakari all came to pieces. That right there, y'all don't see nothing wrong with that, man. Okay? Y'all don't see that the Lord destroyed that, man. Okay? You like their lavish lifestyle. You marvel at that, man. You marvel at that, and you don't pay attention that, through the spirit, you don't see that they sold out, man. Marvel not at the work. You'll come to start rebuking your brother. Not this about, right? You'll come at us for rebuking them, okay? Because you're marveling at the works of sinners, man. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in the Lord Yahawah and abide in thy labor. Okay, and the ones that trust in the Lord Yahawah, through patience, we saw that these men were brought low. The house was destroyed. Okay. Well, they said the labor buildeth in vain, except the Lord hath built that house. Rough and paraphrasing. Everybody's got the precept posted in there about Shah. Okay. All right. Let me go back here. Okay. All right. But trust in the Lord and abide in thy labor, for it is an easy thing in the sight of the Lord Yahawah on the sudden to make a poor man rich. It's easy. Okay. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. The blessing of the Lord Yahawah is in the reward of the godly, right? And suddenly he maketh his blessing flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service? And what good things shall I have hereafter? Again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter? In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness, okay? And this is important, man. In the day of prosperity, I got to highlight it. Put it in blue. Boys in blue. All right? In the day of prosperity, in the day when somebody's flourishing, man, there is a forgetfulness of affliction, man. Okay, and this is why, it's not good to be in the house of mirth. Okay, because you forget that we are afflicted, man. It says, surely oppression shall make a wise man mad. Are you forgetting that you're oppressed, man? Okay, you selling out like that? Are you forgetting that? Are you oppressed? In the day of prosperity, there is a forgetfulness of affliction. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity, right? So when Jacob's trouble coming, these guys can't swing these G wagons through the street. You know, it's not going to be no remembrance of prosperity. For it is an easy thing unto the Lord Yahawah in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. So if you selling out, taking backdoor payments, okay, uh, you know, hey, changing the doctrine up, uh, teaching false, teaching, teaching, deceiving the sheep, okay, all right. Verse to starving the sheep, right? Because the Lord said, "Feed my sheep." You're starving them from the truth. So, hey, like it says here, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord Yahawah in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. Okay? The affliction of an hour maketh a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. Judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known to his children. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. Okay, like as a partridge. Okay, and it said, "Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains." Now, this can stand for your, for your house, your household, or whatever. That's good, but it also could, your spiritual temple is your house too. And if you letting guys teach you false things, okay, if you letting things, come to you and you know they're not true, you just sitting amongst the congregation and it's all false and shit, and you just sitting there not changing it, you're gonna become like that man, okay. It says, "For the deceitful men hath many trains." Okay, and that's talking about motherfuckers that rob the sheep, taking your money, hit the cash app, Apple Pay. Oh, you ain't got cash? Oh, we got Apple Pay, we got cash app. Okay, what's that other shit? Bear with me real quick. It's CZYN network, whatever this shit is. You gotta get the exclusives, rebukes, and rebuking the devil, and kissing the boot. You gotta get all that. You gotta pay for it. All that shit, man. Paying for breakdowns. Okay, like as a partridge taken and kept in a cage, so is the heart of the proud. And like as a spy, watcheth he for thy fall. For he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil. And in things worthy praise will lay blame upon thee. Of a spark of fire he heap of coals is kindled, and a sinful man layeth wait for blood. Take heed of a mischievous man, for he worketh wickedness, lest he bring upon thee a perpetual blot. Receive a stranger to thine own house, receive a stranger to thine house, and he will disturb thee and turn thee out of thy own. Okay? A lot of you people are bugged out. All right, I think that's pretty much it. Let me see what I had here. Going back up to the top of Ecclesiasticus. All right. Ecclesiasticus 11. It says, "Wisdom lifted up the head of him that is of low degree, and maketh him to sit amongst great men." Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Uh, I can read that. This is Matthew chapter 16, verse 18. "And I say unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Man, the gates of hell, there's worldly knowledge, wisdom, okay, the elites, all the motherfuckers that's kind of come against this truth. That's the gates of hell. Okay, and they shall not prevail. But that's the Lord putting us up there with, as we said it here. That's the Lord putting us putting the men of the Lord up there, you know, with sit amongst great men. Okay, if they trying to prevail against it, then we in the realms. We in the realms, you know. So let me see something. Hold on. See if I had anything else on. Okay, beautiful. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 24. Okay. There's some precepts to go with them. Let me get this in the I want to see what the A and P do. No, I don't got an A and P. Let me see what the NLT do then. This is Luke chapter 6, verse 24. And we start up probably 23, 20. Hmm. Sorrows foretold. What sorrows await you who are rich? For you have your only happiness now. What sorrow awaits you who are fat and prosperous now? Oh man, you talking about a $200,000 AMG deacon them bought. Okay, fat pockets, prosperous. For a time of awful hunger awaits you. What sorrow awaits you who laugh now? For your laughing will turn to mourning and sorrow. Okay, we just talked about how in the day of affliction, there's no remembrance of prosperity. Okay, what sorrow awaits you who are praised by the crowds? For the ancestors also praised false prophets. Okay, so this is that, man. This is that. So yeah, man. I didn't have anything. Now, yeah, I just went according to the spirit. Lord willing was edifying, man. But that's pretty much it right there. So I'm gonna say Shalom. Call on Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakapadash, and double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, our spiritual fathers. And shalom to the big brothers, the uncles, and bishops, down to the brothers on down, man. Shalom. All right, Yahawashi Shabbat. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Call on Yahawashi, man. Lord, was lesson was edifying to you, so called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians who consist of the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. Shalom.